Yeah, welcome back for more Nighthawk F-117 Stealth Fighter 2. Again, unfortunately, another post-mortem with another crash there. Again, on the landing back into Key West. It's unfortunate at that time. I went to land. I wasn't too happy with it, so we pulled back up, put the thrust back up, got out to a nice distance, banked back around to come in and land. And I think I was still feeling not confident from that first time we tried coming into land, and ended up, I tried to pull up the nose at the end, but that ended up just meaning that we ended up just actually pulling up and running out of runway. We actually hit the deck okay. We landed on the deck okay, and then overshot the runway, crashed, and unfortunately dead. So we're going to be starting another one. Another takeaway from that mission was when we tried to use the retarded bombs, the sort of free falling bombs, and we hadn't timed the to when to deploy them. I was reading the manual. You have to wait until the bars go down to just a one single line. So I was actually too early, and that's why we destroyed a town and a depot rather than the SS missiles that we were actually after. So again, all I want to do, drop back into Cuba, conventional war on a strike mission. All I wanted to do is try and crack the landing back at Key West. That's all I want to do. I think maybe I got lucky on the first time I tried it on that first mission. Take off, destroy a SAM radar, tank farm, and back to USS America. What we'll do, we'll take out the tank farm, then we'll take out the SAM radar, and then we'll fly up to Key West from there. There's two nice targets there actually. In terms of, I can use Mavericks, I think, against both of them. Although it would be good to try and be able to use those. We used the phase effectively in our second mission. It was the clusters, wasn't it, against depots. I think what I want to try and do, we may not be successful, but I want to try and use the cluster effectively. So I'm going to take cluster for the tank farm. I'll use the Mavericks on SAM sites and any missile boats, and have 4 sidewinders in the pocket for our air-to-air capability. Let's go for it.
Cleared for takeoff.
Alright, here we are again. Right, shift plus gets up to full thrust. Brake on 0 and pull up. That's a horrible noise. Sorry, Alt V to change the sounds down to sound 1. And away we go. So, right, we'll bank around. We'll head this way. Shift Z, accelerate. Let's just get there, get it done, and get up to Key West as soon as possible so we can practice our landing. Oh, retract the gears, that would help. Alright, we'll shift to ahead with the / and then we'll look at the TAC map with F3 and zoom out with X. So and we'll toggle to ground targets. So if we see any missile boats, they'll pop up on the TAC map there. But I do want to keep checking back on the main map just to make sure we're going in the right direction. But we want to head straight east pretty much. Right, we can see a missile boat on the horizon there on the TAC map, so we can fly towards that. And we'll try and take out on the way. The more targets we take out, the better. We'll give it a go. Just take off, accelerate, shift X to stop accelerating time. Otherwise, it's all going to go by in a blur. Don't want to deviate off our course too much, but I think we'll be alright to go for this one. You can see it, that little red flash was it up on the horizon. So it should come up on our target map on the right shortly. And then once we're within 30 kilometers, we can fire at the Maverick. we go, missile base. Sometimes you need to like look another direction and then put it back on ahead for it to actually notice that there's a target there. So yeah, once we're within 30 kilometers, we'll fire off this Maverick. Open the bay with 8. Fire with enter, and then close the bay again. Sorry, I know you didn't do anything to me, but it's the right thing to do. We'll watch the camera of that go all the way. Nice. So, right, let's just make sure we stay on target with what we want to be doing here. So, just adjust that way a little bit. We've got an aircraft coming in to intercept. Just want to check on the tactical map. Yep, it's definitely coming our way. So, shift to air targets. We'll switch to our sidewinders, and we will shoot them before they shoot us. I think when they're yellow on the map, they don't really know where we are. When we're head on, I think it's quite hard for them to spot us. When they flash red, that's when they know where we are, and they're an immediate threat. Flying straight at us, the distance between us is closing quite quickly, and there's another aircraft on the horizon as well. Open the bay, fire on the sidewinder, close the bay. Cool. Just make sure we're on target for our target, more like this direction. F10, just to check what we're actually trying to do. SAM radar, that was the first target. That's the one to the north, and then our tank farm is the one that we're heading towards now, and we're going to try and take that out with a cluster. I could easily take it out with a guided missile, but I do want to make sure. Well, we're going for this. Let's take this plane up. I do want to make sure that I can actually use clusters effectively. There's no point doing these videos if we're not learning anything as we go. No, he's firing at me. A couple of flares. That did not give me much notice on his missiles coming in then, but we dodged it okay. Right, let's just get this height down. Switch to ground targets. We want to be trying to find our tank farm target now at this point. Airbase, tank farm, there we go. Maverick, look at that. See the difference there between, they say Maverick's got like a smaller square. We'll still do the job, but the square on the cluster is bigger, which suggests it's a better munition for the target. So what we're going to do, I thought it was going to look like before, like we were going to go, when we tried these last time, like it was like we were going to fly past them before dropping it, but I'm going to trust in what the manual says here. We're going to fly straight over it. And when the two vertical little red lines are together, right, it's flashing because we're too low. When those two red lines are together, that is when we're going to fire it, even if it feels like it's too late, and we'll trust it. And then if it's wrong, then we'll review it, obviously. Make sure we fly straight over it is the main thing. Too low again. Right, 7 kilometers out. We'll open the bay. We'll wait till those lines are right together, and then we'll fire it. Might have been a tad late then. We'll see. Tank farm. We hit it, but I don't think it's completely destroyed it. Or we hit something very close to it, at least, that's for sure. Yeah, I think I was a tad late, and that's why it's destroyed the building directly after it. So we'll bank round, and we'll give it another go. And we'll try and... We could even try and slow down a little bit. Might be the play. I'll drop the thrust down a little bit. We'll drop down to... Get the speed down, we'll get the height down. And I'd like to think the lower we were, the more accurate it would be as well. So let's drop the thrust down. So, okay, that's Make sure we maintain the height that we need. Okay, this looks good. Open the bay. How's that? Target destroyed. Excellent. So that's how we use them. Airplane, fly straight up. Oh, look at that. Reactions of an absolute ninja. Took out the aircraft that was coming past, even without it on my radar. Switch to the tactical map. Another aircraft coming in. Switch to... We'll be ready for this one. So we've still got 3 Mavericks in the pocket and 2 Sidewinders. So this will be 1 Sidewinder used here. When we've got 3 Mavericks, we'll start taking out some SAM sites. Nice. Switch to these ground targets. I'm not fussed about air bases. They're not a problem for me. It's the SAM radars we need to be taking out. They're the danger. Of course, you know, aircraft can take off from the air bases, and they can be an issue. But I can take those out with gunfire, and also I think it's the SAM radars that are our main threat. And also, I don't have any munitions to take out runways. You need a Durandal bomb for those, I think. Right, fire and forget. I'm going to trust that, and I'm going to try and find the next target. It really wants me to try and take out towns. I do not want to do that. I've got 2 Mavericks. Right, this is the primary target actually. This one, so that's good. Cool. Yeah, so it was fire and forget. I completely left it to do its own thing, and it did the job. So we're within 30 kilometers. Open the bay. Fire, and away we go. That should do the job. I'm going to watch this one, considering it's the primary target. Excellent. Right, we've done both of the targets now.
Target hit.
And now it's a bit of a slog up to Key West, but and we have to go past 3 SAM sites as well, 2 SAM sites and a missile boat, but I'm just not going to be confident landing at the aircraft carrier, and we do want to try and really crack landing at on solid ground before trying to attempt aircraft carriers. So hopefully we've got enough fuel for this. I'm going to take out this SAM site, and then that'll be our last munitions actually, and then it'll just be a case of just continuing up to Key West. And hopefully we have enough fuel for it. Right, now it's just a straight line all the way to Key West. So the only thing we have to do now is just avoid being shot. I've got 1 more Sidewinder if we get any more aircraft, but there's none in our vicinity at the moment. I'm certainly not going to go chasing those ones that are on the map. Here we are. Right, we've got one who's just popped up. Must have just taken off. He's fired an A10. Someone's fired an A10 anyway. A10 at me. This one. Got a couple of aircraft coming my way. Right, that was a bit close for comfort. Right, we really have got nothing left now apart from gunfire and wary of fuel at this point. It's a bit of a sort of, you know, we could try and take out the aircraft that's there. It's still following our decoy, actually, if you notice that. So that's quite good for us, so we can get away. We've got a SAM site and a missile boat. We're just going to have to hope that they don't fire us. Oh, we've got our chaffs, flares, and decoys, so we've still got quite a lot of those in the pocket. But it's interesting that those aircraft there are still chasing that decoy. That's brilliant. Alright, what do you reckon our chances are of landing this time? I need to make sure I land more this end of the runway rather than landing so late on the runway there. Just shift Z to accelerate again. I may have been too high as well. So the decline, I may have had to have been dropping too much height too quickly. So if I come in lower, but still at a speed where I can maintain our, not stall effectively, that's definitely not what we want to do. I'm being tracked, but I think we're far enough away now from anything that shouldn't be a problem. We're heading straight for Key West, which is those, you can tell where Key West is, it's those red dots, those are friendly aircraft up there. That's where they'll be taking off and landing from Key West, so that's what we want to be aiming for. I want to try and recreate exactly the landing I did on the first mission that I flew. And then since then it's been, a couple of crashes. Either, careered into the runway and went over, overshot the runway as well. Neither ideal. $280 fuel, so we're fine for that. So should pop up on the map soon. There we go. Again, I want it. There we go. I want it on my my camera so I can actually make sure we're lined up perfectly with the runway and we have no excuses to crash this time. Just make sure we get perfectly lined up with the runway. Right, Sam, we've actually been fired at, but we're far enough away now. I don't think it's going to be an issue. We've definitely not made any friends this time. Right, I'm going to drop the throttle down. Drop the thrust, sorry. We're going to come in nice and low. Open up the gears, flaps. 70 thrust, sounds good. 19 kilometers out. Let's drop a bit of height. Gears, flaps. We are I still had a bit of thrust on there. I just stopped it in time.
Good landing.
Thank you. God, it's a relief. I didn't realise I had still had the thrust on there. Flaps, brakes, zero thrust is what you need. Second Lieutenant Ben Norton, the third, landed safely after accomplishing both objectives. There was our first perfect mission in terms of completing primary and secondary objectives. It was brilliant. We got to use the clusters, which was the non-guided weapons. So yeah, it was a case of waiting to those bars to meet in the middle before firing. even though it felt like it was going to be too late. 384 mission rating is fantastic. 5 aircraft and 6 ground installations. Just have a quick run through the debrief. Took off. Missile boat destroyed. Took down a flogger. Fulcrum gone as well. So we used clusters, obviously destroyed a tank farm, destroyed more clusters, and destroyed the actual objective. There must have been 2 tank farms there, and we took them both out. Fulcrum shot down. That was the good reactions with the gunfire, that one. Took down another flogger, and then it was SAM radars, SAM radar, another SAM radar. Fulcrum. We probably would have had enough time and fuel to take down more aircraft, but there was no point in overdoing it. And a good landing. That was a good landing, actually. It felt pretty good. There was a bit of a wobble at the end in terms of not having the thrust down to 0, but we landed and we did it. Alright, we've got the distinguished flying craft this time, and we managed to stay alive. So that's brilliant. So yeah, first successful mission in terms of achieving both objectives, using different types of munitions as well, so not just the guided ones, and a successful landing as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll move on to something different next time. Alright, catch you then.